everyone, this is Mindy Eggen and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to walk you through the Spellbinders Club Kits of the Month for October 2024 and the cards I created for it. You can also find quick how-to tutorials for most of these cards over on the Spellbinders YouTube channel under the introductions for the club kits this month. And be sure to stick around to the end of the video where I talk about how you can get a free bonus item. So be sure to hang around for that. The first one I'm taking a look at is the clear stamp and die of the month for October 2024 called Holiday Besties. So this has some really cute critters on there. There are coordinating dies for each of the critters and also a coordinating die for the sentiments. So this one I turned into a very clean and simple card where I stamped and colored the images. I created kind of this grid style format on the front of the card and simply added a sentiment. Next, we have the Glimmer of the Month for October 2024, and this one is called Festive Lights. So that background plate you can use on its own, just kind of one pass, or you can flip it to create an entire card front filled with these lights. So this is one I did with gold foil on red cardstock, and then just simply used an arch die to cut out my panel. But I also did it on white cardstock and then colored in the lights with an Olo marker. It also has that Merry Christmas sentiment that I love and I used on multiple cards this month. I know I've mentioned it before and I'll mention it again that I love that all of these kits you can use individually on their own or they coordinate so well together. Now, this is the embossing folder of the month called Checkered Argyle. I'm throwing in some cardstock here just so you can get a better visual of it. It is a really great all-around pattern. So even though it does kind of look like a sweater, I think it's something that you can use throughout the year. Now, here is a card I created where I did ink blending and then ran it through with the embossing folder. And I love how that turned out. It creates just the simplest card ideas. Then we have the 3D embossing folder of the month, and this one is Joyful Candy Canes. Beautiful poinsettia design with the candy canes in there. And I went pretty bold on my card for this one. I did some ink blending around the edges before and after, I think, but I also used a Lisa Horton, I think it's their gold ink. I'd have to look at the introduction channel, but I used a Lisa Horton ink over the top. Lots of splatters, of course, so that one has a lot of shimmer and texture to it. Next, we have the stitching die of the month called Merry and Bright Clo. I love a cloche for Christmas. There's just something so peaceful and serene about it. So this one, I did some ink blending for my cloche, and then it layers on top of another piece of cardstock to give that impression of snow. You have some stitching on the bottom of the cloche and also the tree. And I added some ink blending to that as well to give it a little bit more dimension. So pretty, and the stitching for this is quite simple. Next, we have the wax seal of the month, and this is called Season of Wonder. It says, most wonderful time of the year. It is a circular design. There is also some wax beads included that have colors like a pearly white, a solid red, kind of like a metallic green, and then a kind of metallic gold. So I did this in a variety of colors. I like to play around with each of the colors that come in that mixed bag, but then I also like to mix colors themselves. So for my finished card project, I mixed white and that gold for a really pretty shimmery look. I went over the letters with a gold metallic pen and then simply added it to the front of the card that I created by doing some ink blending and pairing it with the embossing folder of the month for October 2024. This is the stencil of the month called Baubles and Festive Background. I love this set. It is actually a 5-piece stencil set, but it creates 2 designs. So our first design is 3 layers to the stencil, and it creates an entire background of ornament. I love this set. Of course, I went with some classic red and green colors for this, but it would also look really pretty in a rainbow assortment of colors. And then the second set of stencils is a 2-piece stencil, and that one is, again, more of a kinda sweater pattern type of look. So think about maybe doing stenciling with this and then using it with die cuts for some of the, images I'm gonna show you in just a moment. Now, here's a background I created with the ornament. I love this. That little penguin, which we'll talk about in a second, looks like he is having a blast sitting on top of those ornaments. I did also use a gold interference ink on top of the ornaments. That is from Lisa Horton, and they are available over on the Spellbinders website. And then this is another card I did with that pattern. I just trimmed them down so it didn't completely take over my card front, just kind of leaving a nice thick white border. This is the Better Press of the month, and this is called Design a Plaid. Also comes with this registration plate. So the registration acetate piece that I'm showing here has some dark pink lines and green lines to help you line up your plates vertically or horizontally. Also has some really great sentiments. You may have seen them on some of my cards already. And then the card I created for this is such a warm and cozy feeling. We'll talk about that bear in just a moment, but I went for a light blue cardstock and adding two different shades of blue Better Press ink, and then adding my bear in there, and just all the warm, fuzzy feelings on this one. Now we are going to have some cuteness overload with this die of the month. This is a small die of the month called Festive Friends. It has this polar bear, the penguin, and the string of lights. I absolutely love this. That polar bear, of course, you just saw. The penguin I've used on other card projects, but this is how it was meant to go together. I, of course, did it this way, but you can use these individually on their own. On the string of lights, I added like a glossy accents over the top to give it some shine. Then we have the large die of the month, and this one is so sweet. It is like there's legs coming down and they are in slippers. I live in slippers during the winter months here in Wisconsin, and this one gives you a variety of slippers. The first set that I created is using the reindeer. Again, I added some glossy accents to the nose, and the pattern paper for this actually came out of a Christmas card kit from Spellbinders. I'll see if I can find it and link it below. We'll talk about that sentiment in just a moment. And then here's another card I created using the other slipper pieces. So there's a penguin, a Santa, or a bunny. And then I used the embossing folder of the month on the background for a really simple design. So now we can talk about those sentiments. If you sign up for the Deluxe Kaboodle kit, you get a bonus item. And the bonus item for this month is these Fuzzy Feelings Better Press plate. They are the most adorable sentiments and match all of these kind of cutesy type of images this month. I'll talk about the Deluxe Caboodle in just a moment. I wanted to show you how I store my kit. So I'm not sure if I showed this before, but I have these mesh zipper pouch bags. I actually picked this up from Yanis Makula. I put all of my month clubs in these zipper pouch bags. Since everything kind of coordinates together nicely, I just put everything in here. The bigger items go in the back, and then I have my smaller items here. I can also bring in my wax seal and my wax beads. And then I will usually put a label on the front and back of the bag that tells me what month it was. So I love how handy these are and everything fits so nice. So let's talk about the Deluxe Caboodle. This is a value club and it is a super, super value club. That means you're signing up for all of the clubs, the ones that I just showed you, plus you get a bonus item and that changes each month. It's a surprise for everyone each month. It's a surprise for me each month. And you really get the best value out of signing up for the Deluxe Caboodle. And like I've mentioned before, everything matches so well. Everything is right there to just create a ton of cards. But if you're just not interested in one or more of the kits, you can also just sign up for one or two or however many you like out of the subscriptions. You can find out more information about the clubs over on the Spellbinders website. I will have everything linked down below in my video description and over on my blog. I want to thank you all so much for spending time with me today. I hope you enjoyed today's inspiration, and I will see you again real soon.